Today is August 23rd, 2024. My name is Charles Suter, and today I'm presenting part 2 of my series, Becoming Decisive. This presentation is based upon the reference book Decisive, written by Chip and Dan Heath. My main message, look before you leap. For important decisions, to avoid regrets, take your time, gather more information, develop more options, and test or verify your assumptions. Good decisions depend on good information. So don't make emotional, impulsive choices without taking time to make an informed decision. Get some time and distance from your decision to cool your emotions and to gain better insights. Ask other people without a personal stake in the outcome of your decision, to offer you advice. Widen your perspective on both the likelihood of each alternative achieving your desired outcome and also the likelihood of each alternative getting less or more than what you expect. Know what are these critical circumstances leading to both lower and higher outcomes, and then you can plan extra efforts to avoid the bad and capitalize on the good. Finally, consider if the odds of success is worth taking the risk. There's a price to be paid for the short effort expected to reach a goal, so make sure the expected gains are worth it. Proposition 1. Know your assumptions and validate them. Now, any information gaps must be filled with either information or assumptions. Assumptions fill the information voids and unknowns. That's the danger, because they can cause you to make a bad decision if the assumptions are wrong. Those alternatives with the least assumptions and that are the most controllable are the least likely. Now, what you can control, you can pretty much predict what the outcome is going to be. And what you can predict, you can achieve. The ability to predict the future is an advantage to decision making. But of course, predicting the future is not easy. The future has a way of surprising most decision makers. People want to predict the likely future to help them decide which of many possible alternatives might be the best choice for reaching a goal. Predicting the future depends upon how much of the future you can control. Any information gaps must be filled with guesstimates, assumptions. Now, guessing about the future means your decision is at risk of not hitting the target if your predictions are bad. While predicting the possible outcomes for the more distant tasks that must be implemented might be difficult, the immediate tasks are probably more controllable and predictable, allowing you to test the viability of several options, perhaps at the same time. By taking the time to test multiple alternatives, you gain valuable information about which ones might be the better choice. Proposition 2. Consider the downside of your decision. Most people's predictions are overly optimistic. You'd be better off served if you were to estimate the likely range of outcomes for each option. Now, estimate what would happen if your most important assumptions were wrong. The wider the range of the outcome of any option, the higher the risk of failure. A person's insider view is always more distorted due to a potential confirmation bias, wherein a person makes a choice and then seeks evidence to confirm its correctness without spending any time to consider what other ways to view the world might be equally important or irrelevant. An outsider's view of the same decision might be completely different. So another way to get better information to support a decision is to consider the outsider view, which means asking experts, testing your assumptions with mini experiments or trial runs, talking to other people who already made decisions like yours, and researching documents written by relevant subject matter experts. Seeking better information takes more time, naturally, but if the decision is important, better information requires fewer assumptions and has less risk of being wrong. Proposition 3. I encourage you to test your options before making a full commitment. Reality test your assumptions to get better information before choosing. How do you reality test your assumptions? Play devil's advocate. Ask disconfirming questions. Get expert opinions. Anything you can do to expand your perspective, such as getting an outsider's big picture perspective on your decision. It's better to discover reality directly and eliminate assumptions and erroneous information than to predict indirectly based on your limited knowledge and past experience. You can bring current real-world information into your decisions by becoming more experienced and more familiar with your pending decision and the desired outcome you seek. By conducting small experiments or test runs, you can fine-tune your final alternatives based on those outcomes producing better outcomes. Again, with good information and verified assumptions, you can avoid the risk of relying solely on your own insider view with all of its inherent biases and limited information. Now, my final message. Knowledge is power to make better decisions. Relevant and accurate information about your decision is critical to good decision making. I cannot emphasize that enough. Difficult decisions are hard mainly due to a lack of information. The decisions will become easier once you gather information. Gathering good information about what it takes to get outcomes you want is critical to success. By verifying your tentative assumptions with hard data, it will improve the predictability of which options that you're currently considering will best fulfill your desired outcome. To get good information, to remind you now, you can interact with people who have made similar decisions, test multiple options with small test runs to determine which ones tend to perform better. By widening your decision space to include other innovative alternatives, rather than those that just seem obviously close at hand, and then gathering real-world information on the better alternatives will help you narrow your choices. Once you've narrowed your decision space to 2 or more alternatives, it doesn't matter much which one you pick. They're all good. Pick one and put your best efforts into implementing to ensure that that alternative that you pick turns out to work well to getting you to your desired outcome. Well, that's all for now. Remember to stay positive. You'll be happier, healthier, and live longer.